You're either going to sign a consent form saying that you're allowing us to search them,
Whatever you guys are doing in this airport
or I'm going to detain them,
is totally wrong.
run my dog on it, and get a search warrant.
I'm a random search, guys.
I didn't feel like I could have said no.
So those white folks, and I'm the random search.
No, there's no way this is random.
Innocent passengers searched at the gate by plainclothes drug agents looking to seize cash.
You're taking people's money based off an assumption.
I work hard for my money.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
Sir, I've got nothing to say to you.
The DEA still hasn't answered our questions, but our 2-year investigation
Why do people have to prove themselves innocent?
would lead to a single incident that would end the entire program nationwide.
Oh, that's my, hey.
That's yours. Where's your bag at?
I don't consent to search, sir.
You don't have to consent. Where's your backpack at? Where is it? Under your seat?
It got put away, but I don't consent to being searched.
I don't care what your consent stuff.
Had you not seen our investigation, what would you have done?
I would have just assumed that it was part of a standard screening procedure and consented to the search.
David recorded the incident on the very same phone where he had watched our investigation in plain sight. He stopped recording only to double check the article so he could stand up for his rights.
I didn't consent to be searched. Like, I dragged off the plane here. Is that accurate?
Actually, you walked off the plane. I didn't drag you off. I took your bag off the plane. So
You took the bag off my plane. Okay.
Tell your story.
Back to detained, not you.
Yeah, you're trying this legal stuff. It's not going to work, dude.
This particular passenger said no, did not give consent,
Correct.
and the task force officer removed his bag from the plane anyway.
And to do that, the agent needed reasonable suspicion.
The Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Justice reopened his investigation of the DEA's airport cold consent encounters after seeing the video David recorded.
We wouldn't do this and be doing it across the country if it was illegal.
Without the subject thinking to immediately use their cell phone to record the event, we certainly wouldn't have known about it. In fact, we clearly wouldn't have known about it because absent that video, there was no record of the incident.
The DEA had no record because agents didn't find drugs or cash in David's bag.
The DEA wasn't keeping records of its encounters unless it found cash or drugs.
And they promised you they would.
And they promised us after our first report a decade ago they would.
Once they learned of your latest investigation, they were going back and filling out these reports from months earlier?
It turned out because they hadn't found any cash or drugs when they did the search of that individual, they hadn't prepared any paperwork at the time. When we began our investigation and asked for the paperwork, that's when, months later, they started creating paperwork trying to lay out why they did what they did.
David's name was put on a DEA list because he bought a last-minute ticket.
When you buy a last-minute ticket,
Yeah.
we get alerts.
In some cases, the only reason for the so-called cold consent encounter was a purchase of a last-minute ticket. I purchased a last-minute ticket to come interview you.
Approaching individuals based solely on that basis, without any lead, any other information to suggest they might be a drug courier or money launderer, was concerning.
The Inspector General discovered David's last-minute ticket was reported to the DEA by an airline employee who was a regular paid informant.
A single commercial airline employee received tens of thousands of dollars, effectively a cut of the money seized.
It turned out that the individual was getting a percentage of the amount seized on multiple occasions over a longer period of time.
Informants are being paid with confiscated property from searches that the informants triggered with no real evidence. It's obvious why that's a potential abuse and a potential violation of civil rights.
U.S. Senator John Ossoff of Georgia launched his own inquiry with the Department of Justice, citing the findings of our investigation.
What was the most troubling thing you saw in our reporting?
There is an economic incentive to stop, search, and confiscate, even where there was little or no, in many cases, no evidence implicating the person searched, and where here in Georgia it appears that there may have been racial profiling involved.
Senator Ossoff's inquiry and the Inspector General's report landed on the Attorney General's desk within days of each other.
The Inspector General's report was scathing about the failures associated with this program. Many of those failures revealed by your reporting.
We are recommending, which is what we did in the report, immediately suspending these activities, which the department did.
This is the directive from the Deputy Attorney General of the U.S. Department of Justice, ordering the DEA to stop searching innocent passengers at departure gates nationwide.
I'm not sure that this change, this investigation, and this halt to potentially very problematic DEA practices would have occurred without your reporting. You have been on this story helping to expose what appear to be potentially serious civil rights violations.
Now, at airports across the nation, there's no sign of plainclothes drug agents searching passengers at the boarding door. The agents appear to have departed. It's unclear if they'll ever return.